Hello and welcome back to your South King County real estate update. My name is Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at John L. Scott, and I am back to deliver your local real estate news for the month. Go ahead and jump right on into these slides. Happy Blue Friday, by the way. I got my colors on. I hope you do too. So it is November 2023. Can you believe it? We are almost at the end of the year. Can't believe how fast this year has gone by. And a very happy Veterans Day to all those veterans out there. Thank you so much for your service. Veterans Day is tomorrow, but it is observed today. And we'll just jump right on into that news. Seattle area home sales fall among stubborn high mortgage rates prices. Number of pending single-family homes in King County went down nearly 15% from a year ago. This is generally something we see this time of year, but this type of drop, to have that year over year drop, is more than normal. So 44% fewer deals in October than in October of 2019. So 2023 had 44% fewer deals than the market we saw right before the pandemic. We had pretty low interest rates then, not pandemic low interest rates, but the housing market was definitely chugging along. And we have come down significantly from that point, from comparing to our last normal year. And prices in the Seattle area have been pretty flat for a couple of months now. Here's a look at home sales and condo sales in King County. As far as home sales, closed sales went down in all categories. As far as median price, we did see a drop in Seattle, but all of the surrounding areas, including Southwest and Southeast King County, did raise. And that is partially due to the prices being high in Seattle, people wanting more land, moving away from the city, and going after those lower priced homes because of those higher interest rates. As far as condos, we actually saw an increase in Seattle condo closings since last year, and an increase in condo closings in Southeast King County, but a pretty drastic drop in Southwest King County, down almost 27% for our condo sales. But that is because there's not that many condos. So we went from 41 condos sold to 30 condos sold. So it's 11 fewer, but it is a pretty huge percentage drop. As far as prices, they did go down in Southeast King County, but up everywhere else. And here's that home price activity for King compared to the other counties in our region. So last year we were at 903, and this year we're at 883 for our home sale price here in King County. So pretty flat. So it's those higher interest rates. Some buyers are seeking those more affordable areas outside of Seattle because it's an easier entry point. Mortgage rates have leveled off since early November. Still, the average 7.8 rate late in October was the highest since the year 2000. We're definitely seeing those higher interest rates this year compared to what we have seen in prior years, at least recent prior years. New listings are down. We just don't have a lot of inventory on the market right now. And that brings us to our market stat minute. In Southwest King County, we had 52.1% of overall homes going pending in the first 30 days. So that's a very strong market with 1.6 months supply. So there's a shortage of inventory, but not as drastic as we saw last year and the year before. Once we get up to the 1 million price point and above, we see 4 months supply or 3.3 months supply in those areas. So those are pretty healthy markets. And traditionally, the number of new monthly resale listings coming to the market drops over the next 4 months. September is usually the high point for available unsold inventory, and January will be the low point for unsold inventory. We generally see buyers kind of come back into the market after the new year, as well as sellers listing their homes more after the new year than through the holiday season. In Southeast King County, we had 55.3% of homes going pending in the first 30 days with 1.4 months supply overall. And that's pretty similar to what we saw in Southwest King County, where it's more active fewer months supply in the lower price points, and then a healthier market once you get up to the higher price points. And for our new resale listings, this year is the purple. You can see we've been hanging out way below prior years on our new resale listings coming to the market. And as far as total buyer contracts, again, we are below those other lines, but this line is much closer. So we are having fewer homes come to the market, but the buyers are buying those homes. Looks like we're headed kind of back towards where we would expect to be. Over the next couple months, we'll see if we rejoin these lines heading into the new year so that we can have another more normal year. This one's those two lines combined. So the green is newly listed homes and the orange is pended homes. The closer the orange bars are to the green lines, if we look back in 2020 and 2021, the orange goes pretty much all the way up to the green line. That means everything that's coming to the market is getting sold pretty quickly. We have a little bit more of a gap now, but we're still far below where the lines were headed back several years as far as the number of transactions. And our hyper-local breakdown for new listings coming to the market, we did tick up in Federal Way from last month, but down in all other areas. And pending sales, we ticked down in Federal Way and Renton and up in Kent and Auburn. But you can see how much lower these lines are compared to prior years. We're just having fewer sales right now because of that lack of inventory. Median days on market, we had that big spike up in January where things just sat on the market for a while and then plummet down in the spring. We are seeing a little bit of a rise. We're up to 12 days in Kent, Renton, and Federal Way, and 14 in Auburn. But Federal Way did tick down from last month on their median days on market. And for our median prices, Auburn ticked down a little bit from last month, but the rest of the areas did tick up in home sale prices, which isn't something we'd normally expect to see this type of year, but due to that lack of inventory, people are willing to pay a little bit more for the home than they would be otherwise. And last time we met, our weekly average mortgage rate was 7.57, and the daily was 7.66. And this month, our weekly average is 7.5. So we have had a little bit of a drop from last week. It did pop up pretty high at the end of October. And we've seen a pretty steady decline for the last couple of weeks. The weekly average topped out at 7.76 last week. So we've come down pretty significant amount since last week's weekly average. But if we look at the day's interest rate, it's 7.56. Here's the beginning of October here, and then we kind of skyrocketed up and we've been coming down. We had a really good run here and then have been hanging out around the 7.5 range the last few days. If we look at a little bit longer term, the blue line is our Mortgage News Daily and orange one is our Freddie Mac, our weekly average. So you can see how much higher the blue line gets because these are measured every day. So the weekly average didn't capture the days where we actually went above 8% mid to late October. But we are down now. We dropped below 7.5 and then just ticked up a little bit over it today. And I do still have some of my fall buyer and seller guides available. Next month, I will have the winter guides available at some point. So if you're thinking about making a move by the end of this year and the first bit of next year, please reach out. I would love to get one of these guides in your hand. They are just full of fantastic information that'll be very helpful on your search. And I do still have some of those Seahawks schedules available. I know we're about halfway through the season, the regular season. Hopefully we continue on to the Super Bowl, but as of right now, I have a few left in my stack. So if you want a Seahawks schedule, please let me know. I would love to get that in your hands. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My phone number and email address are on the screen there. I would love to have a conversation about the real estate market in your area or answer any questions that you have about what's going on in the national market or just kind of have a conversation if you want to chat. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back next month with your monthly update for South King County. And as I said, reach out, let's have a conversation, get those questions answered. If you need contractors and stuff like that, I can help out in that area too. So let's have a talk. All right. I will see you next month, and have a great Thanksgiving and enjoy the rest of your November.